Ignite the spark within oneself to light the path of holistic health.
Hello and welcome to the Holy Health Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch. Thank you for joining us today. As always, I'm joined here with my beautiful co-host and the task-stacking queen, doer of all things, my wife, Amanda. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Yes. So, how are you?
So I'm okay. There we go again. I have been trying to be more mindful of umming and ahhing because you just sound better when you're not doing that all the time, you know? But it's so hard because I don't do it a ton, but I do it a good amount. And I also do like a lot. I say like a lot, but I thought that's for future me to worry about. Is right now I can't do them both, or I'll just not talk. Like I won't be able to compute and like say things. Oh, I just did it. See?
You'll combust.
Now everybody's going to be counting my ums and my likes because I pointed it out.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when people talk, it's like an absurd amount
of ums and likes.
Yeah, and you catch it. Like one person that you are in class with.
Oh.
She says, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like an absurd amount.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I caught it right away.
Yeah.
From the first time that I was listening. It's like it's a tick that she does.
For sure.
It's like a confirmation of, right? Correct? Are we on the same page? Mm-hmm. Are you tracking me? And you can do that stuff, but like, I don't know, there's a point where
there's a line.
It's obviously not coherent.
There's definitely a line. Same with the a lot of people a lot. I'm just trying to tone it down a bit. Not that I do it excessively, but I would like to not do it as much. But how am I? Well, I'm fine, I guess. It depends on the day. The past few days I've been not thrilled. But, you just keep doing your thing and it doesn't really matter how you feel,
Life goes on.
It does. And you have commitments and things that you have to do, and so you have to do those.
Every day the sun goes up and it goes back down, and a new day.
Even if we can't see it behind all the clouds that also impact my mood. Which we had our first nice 80-degree day. I was just beside myself because it was so amazing.
Yeah, the warm weather is definitely mood enhancing.
For sure.
Especially right out of winter, and then it's like you get a high 70s day out of nowhere, and then it's back down to 37.
That day is like drugs, and then you come down when it's 40 degrees again.
Now I gotta wear a hoodie and pants again. What the heck? I thought we were done with this.
What else? I guess something exciting is I am embarking on my own personal project.
Project.
To kind of get myself out of a rut. And so my thing lately has been creative momentum, building creative momentum. And so I'm writing a book. I'm writing about, give or take, 80,000 words probably this month. I'm 16,000 in so far. So I'm doing this because I feel like I'm in a rut creatively. So I'm writing another book that I actually want to put out into the world. But I just felt so stuck because January, February, March were so awful for me that anytime I would sit down, which is very few amounts of time, but anytime I would sit down to write, nothing would happen. And I would just spend hours doing nothing, but trying to do something. And so I was I can't keep doing this. So
doing more thinking than typing.
Yeah, just being blocked. I can't keep having writer's block like this, or just creative block in general. So I was well, what's the best way to get over something is to do that thing even more. and build creative momentum. Because if I create this habit of writing every single day a sizable amount of words, then that's just going to compound upon each other. And then every day that I sit down, not that it's going to be sunshine and rainbows, but it's going to be easier for me to keep that momentum going than it is to just kind of check in a couple times a week when I make the time. So creative momentum has been my thing lately, and I've been writing every day, plugging away at this book that nobody will probably ever see. We'll see. I don't know. Like, that's another thing too, is I'm writing this book without any what's the word?
Expectations.
Yeah,
or
like
plan.
I'm not like planning to release it into the world. I just want to write.
Yeah.
And like lay that foundation.
You said to me, which kind of made sense, because I questioned your reasoning of doing this task.
He's like, why would you do that? And then I'm like, was it stupid?
You said about practice.
Yeah.
And you've never written a book before, and you can't go from 0 to best-selling book ever.
For sure, yeah, because I've written a lot of things.
Yeah, you've always been writing, but to write an actual book with
a whole different animal.
Plots and climaxes and characters and different scenarios, like, that's a whole different thing in itself.
For sure. So
that made sense to me when
dry
you
run.
said practice. Like, I gotta get my practice book in, which...
Yeah, I mean, some people write for years and years. They have like 10, 15 books before they get one published, you know?
Yeah.
So, you don't write to like become a gajillionaire. But...
Could.
It could happen.
Maybe not a gajillionaire, if that's a real number, but...
But, you know, it's like you need to put in the time.
Definitely.
Because if you don't, and then you have like if I just wrote a book and had like a hit success like 2 years ago, like I wouldn't almost not be prepared for that, you know?
You wouldn't appreciate it as much.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, I could just do this whenever I want.
Yeah. How are you?
I got lucky. I am still doing good.
Wow.
Yeah.
This might be the longest running time period of stability.
Goodness.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, just plugging along. I was thinking about today in recording and the cooking show that I mentioned. And eventually I want to get back into personal training again and offering something like that. So I haven't totally decided on something yet. Haven't had quite the capacity to like plan that out, because I want to go at it with a plan and like a good concept and structure compared to last time, because last time I had structure and stuff, but in a different way. So want to be a little bit more intentional with how I do certain things. So that'll take some planning and just kind of like mental preparation. So we're getting there with that. But that's about it for now. Just waiting for that warm weather. I'm excited to get outside and start
mowing grass,
doing outdoor projects.
Cool. I have a question for today.
I have an answer.
Let's see. What was your first experience / introduction to energy medicine?
Energy medicine, I would say probably light, like red light therapy. What else? Does the power of prayer count?
I mean, it could, yeah. It's energy.
Yeah. Technically, I've been exposed to that since I was
Well, yeah, but like, are we talking like power of prayer, like people are putting their hands on somebody and they're miraculously healing? Or is it just like, we just pray for people, you know, type of thing? Because that's totally different. Like prayers on Facebook, like That's not
Definitely, yeah.
that's not energy medicine. I don't care what anybody says.
Thoughts and prayers. But yeah, energy medicine, I would definitely say light. I can't think of anything else before that. That was kind of like how I started into it's a whole different path to go down. Energy. Like, what is energy? You know? So, trying to understand that better. And that was my friend Luke who told me about that. And then I got introduced to Jack Cruz. Not actually physically introduced, but his work online. And signed up for his blogs that he writes and started reading his content and that whole thing. So, yeah.
Jack Cruz is the last person I would ever consider in like the energy medicine space. You know, when you think of energy medicine, typically you're thinking of like a love and lighter, you know, like blessing people and high vibes all around.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to think of Jack Cruz lumped into that category.
A little bit, yeah.
Definitely.
But I mean, the sun is
I agree.
energy, so light is energy.
Light is definitely energy. I agree, but I just think about Jack Cruz hanging out with like energy workers, and I'm like,
Probably wouldn't go well. Yeah, he's an interesting character. But I was gonna ask you what your favorite energy modality is that you use on yourself.
I would say, I don't know. I feel like I have to say homeopathy. You know?
That is what we're talking about today.
I know. I feel like I can't say anything else. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of different energy things. And I can think of like some different, I don't know, some cool instances. But if I think about the overarching concept and system of homeopathy, I feel like I have to pick that. Because it's like crazy. Just like its history wrapped up with, you know, the potential of it is, I don't know if it can be beat, you know?
It's a good one.
And what I think I have to pick it too, because yes, the homeopath that you work with, of course, is important and plays a role, but it's not as, let's say, risky as working with energy workers in different spaces, you know? Like, you could go to Reiki and have like a ill intent practitioner, and they're like working with your energy, and that freaks me out, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't really worry me much.
Like, I'm very particular about who I will do energy work with.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, and that's a good thing to be cautious of, but yeah, I don't really get into that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do that stuff, so it doesn't, you don't consider it because you're not going in those spaces.
Yeah. Today's topic is, I guess, energy medicine, generally, with a focus of homeopathy.
So what are we considering energy medicine? Can we kind of break down what that means?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to lay the groundwork of, like, the foundations, basically, of, like, reality, almost. So kind of like a Walter Russell perspective on the world, quantum physics, what the world is, what reality is outside of our perceptions, which is sight, taste, touch, hearing, smell. So outside of our five senses, that's kind of where we're working. And light does that. Sunlight is both a wave and a particle at the same time. So that's kind of debated, I guess. Two different fields. Some people might say that it's a wave, others might say it's particles. But I think the consensus would be that it's both.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Can it be both?
It's both and.
Why do we have to pick?
Yeah. So light itself is not just a traveling wave through space. It's also a particle, so it has mass to it, technically. But that's something that we can't see, but we can feel, right? When we go outside, we can feel warmth on our skin. Like we can feel UV rays compared to non-UV rays.
I mean, I can feel the lighting environment in a building. You know?
Yeah, like we can tune into that for sure.
Like if it's like an awful LED, like I can feel that on my skin.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean it is putting off a frequency of some kind, and the brightness is something that really affects us because we're seeing that brightness. So that is operating within our senses. But outside of the senses is like the energy. So how things kind of function, which would be like the wave part of the sun, which we can only see a very small spectrum of light, which is the visible light spectrum, which is the rainbow. And outside of that, we can't really see the light. Everything that you see is based off of that spectrum of light. Like the walls that we're seeing right now is based off of sunlight. Like that's how we see. But outside of that is like the invisible things that we can't really see, like X-rays, gamma rays, a lot of the UV rays can't really see. There's a ton of them, but that is kind of that's the space that we're going into when we're talking about energy. It's the things that we can't sense, but they're still there.
Well, you might even be able to sense them, but you can't see them with your like reality senses. Like your 5 senses are based in this current perception of reality. So like energy, like you can walk into a room and like sense like, oh, that person is like, I don't want to go near that person.
Yeah, I would say that's your 6th sense, right?
Okay. Yeah, so it's like you can feel it, but you can't feel it, you know?
Yeah, it's something outside of your physical body.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a vibe that you get, or like an intuition, or a spidey sense that you pick up on. But we watched that homeopathy documentary, and I thought it was a great opening quote, which was from Nikola Tesla, of if you want to understand the universe, you need to think in terms of energy, frequencies, and vibration. And that was like perfect, because that is the fabrics of reality. The fabrics of reality is not solids and matter. It's not space and time. There's things that are outside of space and time, the things that are kind of before those dimensions.
They are the influencers of space and time.
Yeah, and it's like, it's resonating fields, it's frequencies, it's the vibrations. That's how we depict reality. Like our 5 senses allow us to see solid matter compared to an invisible wall there that I don't know if it's a wall, I don't know what it is. So we're given 5 senses to be able to see the wall as a wall and not like, I don't know what that is, So yeah, that's kind of like the foundation of understanding of reality is that everything is a resonating frequency.
Yeah, and the documentary that you mentioned, I'm pretty sure is called Introducing Homeopathy? Question mark?
Don't know.
I think
Don't
that's what
remember.
it's called. I'll put it down below. I'm pretty sure it's introducing homeopathy. There's another one that I haven't watched yet that's called Magic Pills, but people recommend that one too. But Introducing Homeopathy, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. It's really good. Anyways, back to energy medicine and the fabrics of reality.
Yes. We don't have to get like too deep into the weeds
I think
there,
that's a
but
great description.
that's just
So when it
the
that's
basics.
yeah, I like that. So when it comes to different types of energy medicine, like what types are there? We mentioned the sun.
Light's a big one.
The sun, homeopathy, obviously. What else
And
did
you
we
have
say?
your like spiritual
Like
people.
Reiki, like energy healing, like pranic healing,
Reading
stuff like
auras,
that.
like I would say like psychic mediumship and like all of those things are also like they're all in the same realm because psychics are reading your aura, your energy field. That's basically it. So I would say that fits into the same box.
For sure.
But yeah, they have like different technologies now. Like we have the mat from
PEMF. Yeah.
Bond Charge, which that does a pulsating electromagnetic frequency grounding, getting tuned into the earth, touching your feet on the grass. That there is a conductivity to the earth and our skin. So whenever you're touching something that's conductive, like concrete, asphalt, the ground, those types of things, we are connecting to the earth's frequency. And that's just like an innate thing that we actually need to live and
Charge
to
our batteries.
flourish and to charge batteries and to get electrons and to, there's so many health benefits to that whole thing that we don't really think about ever. Like nobody understands that because of the Schumann resonance that goes around the earth constantly, we have life.
Yeah, I mean, grounding is huge. Like by February, I'm like, I just want to put my feet in the grass, but I don't see the grass and it's freezing out. So it doesn't like hit the same, But when you go without it for 6 months, 6, 7, 8 months of the year, potentially, that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
I don't know how people like never put their feet in the grass.
Lots of people do.
Lots of people just
Constant
wear
shoes.
shoes all the time. I'm like, what are you psychopaths doing?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Ugh. Anyways,
so without that frequency, like astronauts, for example, when they go to space outside of the electromagnetic frequencies of the Earth, it's very detrimental to their health. And before they understood the electromagnetic frequencies of the Earth and the benefits to the human body, astronauts would come back from space just like completely worn down, depleted. Their bone mineral density would be gone. They would basically be like on death's door. And they didn't understand what was going on until they figured out like, oh wait, like we need to put these pulsating electromagnetic frequencies inside of the spacesuits so that our astronauts aren't like dying whenever they're up there. So that was a big discovery, and I always like to say that because it's like kind of like the home run to, even though you don't know the benefits of it, like without it you would die. Yeah. Like you could be ignorant to the earth and grounding and wear your New Balance shoes constantly everywhere you go and never touch the earth and be afraid of grass, and you're still receiving that frequency that's giving you life. And without it, we wouldn't exist. Life wouldn't be on this planet.
For sure. I thought you were going to say that's like the home run hit of like the fact that humans actually went to space and NASA does something and they're not just a big conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was laughing, because I thought you were going in that route.
Oh. No, I would say I think I turned on the moon landing stuff.
So you believe we landed on the moon?
I think so.
Wow, that's a big thing. We're going to document this. April 6th, 2026 at probably 6 p.m. That's quite a transformation.
Yeah.
You're out of the moon closet. How's it
The
feel?
moon closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've been thinking about for a little bit. But
What changed your mind, going to the Smithsonian's?
no. Convincing, but no. What did change my mind? I think I was listening to some guy talk about it.
Maybe you're just so tired of all of the conspiracy brain rot that you're just like,
I am definitely tired of that.
I gotta go against this becoming mainstream toxicity.
Yeah,
It's a virus.
I think the whole, the moon landing was fake thing is like a psyop that the government like lets people talk about like without filtering because they think it's just like erroneous and probably helps to divide political people and like there's motivation there to allow that to drift off and get people to think that's a thing because it like manipulates your brain, allows you to think outside of like reality, and could be detrimental to your critical thinking skills, which makes you more susceptible and suggestible to other things. So I think it's kind of a psyop that they let run rampant. But yeah. Anyways, we don't have to talk about why I
Here we are. We're in the weeds.
Not
the moon weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, I don't get into that conspiracy. Like, I never really did, because I'm like, don't really care. Don't care if we've been there or not.
You're like that about most things, though.
I know. I think it's a good way to be. It's like, why spend my time diving into if we went to the moon or not when I can learn about homeopathy?
Yeah.
Or whatever else that actually matters. That doesn't matter. It's not going to change my life if I think I know the truth about it if we went to the moon. But homeopathy, energy medicine, that can change my life. And
Definitely.
Other people's.
And other people.
Why not spend time on that instead of, conspiracy rot?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it is these days. It's not like a fun side thing. It's just a rot. So
it's brain rot, yeah.
Little side note tangent there, but here we are. We're back to energy.
So laying the foundations of the topic of kind of how, I guess, yeah. So that's why I wanted to lay the foundations of energy, was because that's how homeopathy works. That's the plane that homeopathy is working on.
It is energetic medicine.
It's all about resonating fields and how that affects your body. So like, just like the pulsating electromagnetic frequencies that are coming from the earth and how that affects our bodies, that's something we're naturally attuned to. Everything is a resonating field, and these medicines, these remedies, they call them, are I would say, I guess, for lack of a better term, a bastardized version of the original living, resonating plant.
They are just the energy of the plant.
Or substance that's being used
plant,
as...
animal, mineral, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing is, let's just say plant right now, so I don't have to go into that. So say you have a plant, and you basically are extracting the energy of that plant and turning it into a remedy, which is the little pillule or water tincture that you take. So water has a frequency. We don't have a water episode. We don't have many episodes right now up live, but water can hold memory. And so when you take these extractions from plants or whatever it may be, then you are imprinting that energetic memory into that water. And then you have your remedy. And so typically you have like a little container of pillules, sugar-based pillules, usually.
So what's a pillule?
It's literally just sugar. It's a sugar pill. Tiny little sugar pills. And there's nothing in the sugar pill except for sugar, like, to create the pillule. What happens is you have the energy coating the outside of the pillules. So the pillule is just a vehicle to get the energy to you. So even when you touch it, you're already computing with that energy. So that's like with Lily. Lily takes remedies. Anytime I touch one of her remedies, I'm kind of getting like a little hit of whatever she's taking if I touch it. So there is nothing in the pillule. There's nothing except for sugar. And the sugar is the vehicle to get the energy to you. But I think we're out in the weeds already. We need to rewind big time.
Yeah, how did we get there?
That makes no sense. You were talking about energy.
How it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. The plant thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about plant. Extracting the energy.
Yeah. But that makes no sense to anybody who doesn't know what homeopathy is.
Yeah, so let's get into it then.
Okay.
Lead us on the road of, give us to your best ability, a historical account of homeopathy.
So you want the history before we dive into kind of like what homeopathy is?
Yeah, like where did it come from? Just give me what you got.
Okay, so back in the late 1700s, there was a doctor, German medical doctor, named Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, and he did not align with the barbaric practices of his era. So we're talking mercury, bloodletting, very barbaric practices that was taking place in the allopathic space. So he becomes a doctor and quickly realizes, I don't want to do this. This isn't my vibe. So he goes and he begins to translate texts, like textbooks, into different languages. He knew, like, I can't remember, it was like 11 different languages or something. It was like a lot of different languages. So he would take different books, medical books, and he would translate them. And so he came across this one book and he was reading about something that's called cinchona, and it's a bark of a tree. And so he's reading about it and he's like, like, that doesn't really make sense. Like, he was just kind of questioning the description. So he decided to experiment with this bark. So he takes it and discovers that what happens is it produces malarial symptoms in him. So he has all of the symptoms of malaria, but he knows he doesn't have malaria. He's having a reaction to cinchona. And so he realizes through, I mean, we could get super into the weeds, but way back in the day, Paracelsus was kind of using a similar method with mercury to heal, I'm pretty sure it was syphilis. It might not be, it might be something else, but I'm pretty sure it was syphilis. So he was using very, very diluted doses of mercury to heal, I'm pretty sure it was syphilis.
Who?
Paracelsus. He was like back in the day practitioner.
Okay.
But we don't need to get into that because we'll get way into the weeds. So Samuel Hahnemann was aware of this, though, that he was using mercury in this way, in a very diluted way. And so he began to experiment with the cinchona bark in the same way. So he would dilute and then he would succuss. So succussing is just banging the dilution very vigorously for a period of time. And when you do that, you basically activate the energy of the substance, and you continue to do that process for many, many rounds. So you're diluting so much that you no longer have any of the cinchona bark in your what do you call it?
Water?
Yeah, your tincture, let's say. It's all just
Solution.
energetic. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
So he began to see, and he did a lot of experimenting with his kids, with people in his circle, with himself. He began to see that the more that he diluted the substance, the more powerful it became to heal. So what he was doing with the cinchona bark dilution was giving it to people with malaria, because homeopathy runs on this belief that like cures like. So if a healthy person, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, takes cinchona bark and he gets malarial symptoms, then that means somebody with malaria will take a diluted dose of cinchona bark and will be healed from malaria. And so that's the whole basis of homeopathy.
So, to sum that up real quick, the term homeopathy, where does that come from? Can you remember?
Same suffering.
Same suffering.
I can't remember the breakdown, but it's same suffering.
That's
like
the Latin
cures
term.
like. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means that
I think homeo and pathos, I think, is what the breakdown is. But yeah.
if I'm suffering from malaria, then you would give me the same substance that would cause me to have malarial symptoms.
Correct.
Which is the cinchona bark.
Mm-hmm.
So I am suffering from these symptoms. Cinchona bark causes these symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So you're giving me something that causes the symptoms that I'm already having.
Yes. But it's in a diluted dose. So I wouldn't go pull the bark off the tree and say, eat this.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't give it to you in an herbal tincture. Like, that's not what we're doing here at all. No, we are just taking the energy of that substance and giving it to you. There is no material dose in homeopathy after a certain potency, which we'll get into later. But for the most part, there is no material dose. And if there is, it's like teeny, teeny, tiny.
Yeah.
Like,
barely.
You can take poisonous substances. Like, cinchona bark obviously isn't going to kill you. The dose makes the poison. But like, Samuel Hahnemann ate the cinchona bark and he got sick, but he survived. If you take arsenic, like, that's a poison. Mercury, like, these different substances are medicines in homeopathy, because you're taking the energy of the mercury, of the arsenic, and you are giving it to that person who is experiencing those symptoms. And it's probably not from mercury poisoning, or arsenic. Like, I could give you, let's say you're throwing up, you have food, like you have food poisoning. You didn't eat arsenic. Like, arsenic is not why you have food poisoning. But I would give you the arsenic remedy, arsenicum album, to help your body move through the symptoms of the food poisoning at a rapid rate.
Because they're causing the same reactions.
Yes, because you have the symptoms that you would have if you took in a bunch of arsenic.
Yes.
So, back to Samuel Hahnemann.
Back to the old Sammy boy.
So he discovers this, and he begins to dilute and succuts. So you dilute, it's like one drop of arsenic to 99 drops of water. And then you bang, 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 like 100 times. Like, vigorously. He did it on a leather-bound Bible. He bang, 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 banged. And then he would take one drop of that, and he would put it in 99 drops of water. And bang, 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 again. And repeat, 30 to hundreds of times. Like, so the higher the potency in homeopathy is, the more diluted and more energetically potent, let's say, that the medicine is. And we'll get to that. Samuel Hahnemann discovers this. He begins experimenting, family, friends, you name it, and it gains traction. And so back in that day, let's say the 1800s, medical doctors primarily are the ones who are becoming homeopaths. So they're like, I'm tired of, giving mercury to people and, like, basically killing them. I see what's happening over here with Hahnemann, like I want some of that. And so a lot of medical doctors start to come into this space. And homeopathy explodes, especially and even in North America. And it's the craziest thing because I didn't know this until I was becoming a homeopath. And a lot of people don't know this either. But like up until like even
Penicillin.
even the early 1900s, there were in the U.S. in the early 1900s there were 100 homeopathic hospitals and over 1,000 homeopathic pharmacies in the United States. And so the homeopaths were leading the charge through the 1800s into the early 1900s. And what happened was some nefarious meddling, as it does. And so the Rockefellers get in there and they use homeopaths. They think homeopathy is great. That's what they've had homeopaths on staff, you name it. They see a pharmaceutical opportunity and they take it. And if you look up the Flexner report, you can read all about what happened. But basically, in a very short period of time, homeopathy was attacked, it was silenced, and it almost was completely diminished from society. To the point now where everybody thinks it's placebo, nobody knows what it is, you name it. But into, like the early 1900s, this was still a booming thing. Like
Penicillin was the turn.
Yeah, like the homeopaths created the first like medical foundations, like homeopathy foundations. And the allopaths,
they created the gold standard of research. Like double-blind, placebo, whatever.
And the allopaths then followed suit. So they were always, one step behind the homeopaths. But then this nefarious circumstance happened and everything was flipped on its head. The homeopaths were silenced. It was like, you can't be married to a homeopath. Like, if you're a medical doctor, like, you'll lose your license. Like, it was like an extreme thing. So homeopathy went way underground and was extremely suppressed for years and years and years. And I feel like just now it's starting to...
It's making a comeback.
Be revived.
Definitely.
But I think that's like the gist of the history, I would say. Did I do a good job? Do you have questions?
Yeah, so it was around for a while. Kind of like an original medicine that was established. It was well accredited.
I mean, there were amazing results. And there were medical doctors at the time who would try to, disprove homeopathy. So there was one, his name's Dr. Constantine Herring. And his task was to disprove homeopathy. And so he began to look into it, to research it and everything. And during this time period, he got a cut on his finger or something. I don't know if he was doing like an autopsy type of thing or something. Like he was basically, they were like, you got to cut your finger off because it was like so infected. Like you got to cut it off. He took, I believe, arsenicum album and he kept his finger. And so when he had that experience, he was like, oh, wait.
Oh, wow.
And then he became like a prominent homeopath.
Yeah.
So that was happening like in the US, in France, in Germany, like all over. And when you have a personal experience like that, it would be really hard to kind of discount that and be like, nope, still not interested.
You would have to lie and...
For sure.
Do that whole thing.
Yeah.
Be very dishonest.
So, I think another fun fact is if you go to the Smithsonian's, which we have to do, I haven't been since I've been down this homeopathy journey, but there are different homeopathy displays in the Smithsonian's that you can look at. And the only statue of a medical doctor in Washington, D.C. is of Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, who isn't even an American doctor. He is a German doctor. And that is the only doctor monument that exists in D.C.
It's pretty cool
Which
to
is
be
crazy.
recognized Like, obviously, he's a super smart dude to be able to pretty much invent this type of medicine and this technique, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And then to be recognized on a national scale of somebody building you a statue and putting you on display for everybody to see for the next couple hundred years to, well, I guess, yeah, couple hundred, close to 300 or whatever. But yeah, like that's a significant factor of credibility.
For sure. I mean, it's a go-to medicine for a lot of the elite.
Yeah, the upper echelons of society,
Mm-hmm.
they go to homeopathy.
Yeah. Yeah, like
They
us.
all have homeopaths.
They have them on staff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of the history. I think it's interesting. I'm always fascinated by the fact that it was so prominent not so long ago. And there were homeopathic like colleges scattered throughout the US. Like homeopathy was involved in medical schools, like it was taught.
Yeah, they wanted to ban the ability to learn homeopathy, which is a great tactic to completely get rid of something, because if no one's able to learn the techniques, then eventually that's just going to disappear.
Yeah.
That knowledge is going to be forgotten.
Well, and here's the thing. So pharmaceuticals are extremely expensive. We know that the pharmaceutical industry is very lucrative. Homeopathy is little sugar pills coated with energy that will cost you less than $10 a bottle. So follow the money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing about homeopathy that's really cool, is it's super cheap and inexpensive to use.
Definitely. It's very accessible.
Yeah, like anybody can use it. You're not going to break the bank
Yeah.
by taking homeopathic remedies.
Which I love because, I've done so many supplement journeys and none of them have created different things that I have seen with homeopathy.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a quick history of where it came from.
Yes.
Who discovered it.
So what is it?
And the credibility of it. So
how does it work?
Well, we talked about that a little bit, but you can...
I don't think we did. What did we say?
Yeah, we talked about like cures like.
Well, yeah, but the body has a vital force.
Okay.
So that's basically the body's energy, the field of energy. And what homeopathy does is it actually doesn't do the healing. Like, the energy does not come in and heal you. It stimulates your vital force to self-heal. So it is just, the touch of energy is just like a button that enforces your body to go through the proper mechanisms that it needs to go through, to remember how it should function, and then it follows suit, if the remedy is the proper remedy.
I like that, remember.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember who said it or where I heard it. Might have been one of your studies or whatever that I was eavesdropping in on, but one of the examples was like, like the body will heal and go to a certain point sometimes, and the body might get stuck at a certain stage of healing, and it'll never get past that stage, and it keeps like recycling itself, but it never gets past this stage of healing. And that's why he said it helps you remember how to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Where it gets you, once you hit that stage that you keep hitting, that you can't get past, the remembering gets tuned from the remedy that you took, and then your body's like, oh, whoa, that's how we do it. We forgot. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's finish the task. And, it works through the process. But I thought that was really cool.
Definitely. Yeah, it's not just physical stuff. It can work mental, emotional, spiritual, generational. If you really want to go like further, like planetarily, like it can reach further than even herbs or anything like that.
It's definitely expanded in the modern world, but like I think you could probably talk about the different types, where there's like the traditional homeopathy training or whatever versus like a new agey, like different.
Well, I mean,
There's different types of things that you can learn, I guess.
Yeah, there's different ways
styles.
of practicing. There's classical homeopathy, which is what the OGs would have practiced, but a lot of people who practice in a more modern way believe that we are up against a lot more modern problems. So the body, the vital force, needs a little more assistance in remembering than it did 200 years ago. So 200 years ago, they didn't have EMFs, they didn't have glyphosate, they didn't have plethoras of blue light, they didn't have like depleted soil and processed foods. Like they didn't have a lot of things that we have these days. They had some vaccines, but not to the level or extent that we do. So like modern problems call for modern solutions. So you have to, I think there's always like a foundation of that classical nature that is taught, but sometimes I think you gotta spice it up a little bit to kind of suit the modern lifestyle. But the goal of homeopathy is to find that one remedy, which is called the simillimum. So the simillimum is the remedy that hits the nail on the head for all of the problems that you're coming to me with. And so let's say you have acid reflux. So you say, I have acid reflux. And I'm like, okay, tell me about that. But a homeopath's appointment, especially the initial intake, can be anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. Some people do 2 hours. Like it's very extensive. And this whole time we want to know, like, tell me about why you came here. Of course, I care about that. But I also want to know, like, what's going on in your personal life. Do you like work? How's your relationship with your spouse? Kids? Like, are you feeling fulfilled? Like, so many things. Like, what happened in your childhood? Like, when did the acid reflux start? Like, was there a trigger? What makes it worse? So many questions. And so you take all of that information and then you try to pair it with the simillimum, the remedy that hits the nail on the head across the board with everything that's going on. So homeopathy doesn't treat acid reflux. Homeopathy treats the whole entire person. Because you can come to me with acid reflux and yeah, you're experiencing that physical symptom. Like, I believe that completely. But that physical symptom could have been prompted by a pharmaceutical that you were taking when you were 6 years old. It could have been prompted by a traumatic event that happened when you were 14. Like, there are so many things that go into play with especially physical symptoms that if I just try to treat the acid reflux, we're only going to go so far and it's probably not going to be far enough. So you want to treat the whole person as a homeopath and you want to find that simillimum, that one remedy that will stimulate the vital force in that perfect way to trigger that self-healing.
Yeah, I like that a lot because we talk about mind, body, spirit here. Like, the holy health lifestyle is a holistic one. And it's the whole person. As you said, it's all of the dimensions. It's the whole picture. It's not just like, oh, I need to lose weight, so peptides. Oh, I need to do this, so here's my solution. Here's the quick fix. We're going to do the hard work. We're looking at the whole picture, really analyzing things. And a lot of the modalities that we use are things that are really cheap or free. And it's just getting back to nature, getting connected to the earth, and getting sunlight and all of these things. But treating the whole person, I think, is so essential because you're able to treat the mind, the body, and the spirit. And that's a whole other thing that you can talk about too, is the different layers of the onion that homeopathy can touch and can get into. Like there's actual like schools of thought that we have different layers to our um, what's the word, to our avatar, right? And like there's like your spiritual body, the astral body, the physical body. You probably know more of what those would be.
I think there's 7 layers, yeah.
Yeah, so like that is at play too when you're treating the whole body. It's like what layer, like hypothesizing, what layer could this person be needing treated?
And that's kind of where potency comes into play as well. Because with homeopathic remedies, you have different potencies. So you have like anywhere from like a 6C, 12C, 30C, 200C, 1M, 10M, 50M, LM. That means nothing to anybody who's listening who doesn't know what homeopathy is. But to the homeopath, that can kind of guide you in the direction of what potency you want to touch that vital force. So 30C or lower typically is all physical to you, unless somebody's super sensitive, it depends. But generally speaking, if you have a strictly physical acute problem, and acute is something that lasts 3 weeks or shorter. So if you have an acute problem, I'm going to give you a 30C or lower. And when you take that energy, potency, is touching the physical layer of the body, let's say. And so as you go up, then you can kind of edge closer to like mental, emotional, spiritual, generational, planetarily. And it's a general rule of thumb. It's not a rule because everybody's different. Everybody's sensitivity levels are a little different and their experiences will vary slightly. But that's kind of a way to guide the homeopath as to finding that simillimum. Because the simillimum isn't just the remedy, it's also the potency. I could give you arnica 30C and you would be like, it doesn't work. Homeopathy doesn't work. This sucks. Well, I could move you down to a 12C, or I could move you up to a 200C, and you could see a miraculous healing. And you'd be like, oh my God, it worked.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of like the art of being a homeopath, is being able to point yourself in the direction of which potency to land on to find that true simillimum.
Well, that's also the difficult part about it too, because in today's world, everybody wants to have that experience, that quick fix, that miracle cure, that, oh, I was given this thing and it helped me. So then it's like, you actually have to know what you're doing. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I have this brochure of homeopathic remedies that I got at the health store, and oh, you're experiencing bloat. Try this one. This one does good for that.
I mean,
from that perspective, that person is, one, not a homeopath. Clearly, they're just somebody that discovered it and was like, this is like a thing that we can try, and you would be diminishing the value of the potential that homeopathy has to heal somebody.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Like, somebody goes to the store and they see a bottle and it says good for bloating, and then they take it and they're like, that didn't do anything.
Right.
And then they're like, homeopathy doesn't work. It's a placebo. Like, it's fake. And it's like, well, you maybe just didn't have the right remedy.
Well,
and like, I think treating acutes like as just like a regular Joe Schmo, I think that's okay. Like, there's enough information out there that if you have a sore throat, you can probably kind of guide yourself in the right direction as to experimenting with acutes, like a sore throat, something that is 3 weeks or shorter in duration. But if you're experiencing chronic sore throats or chronic bloating or chronic knee pain or acid reflux or chronic anything longer than 3 weeks, you need to work with somebody for sure.
Yeah. So like that's important because as homeopathy is kind of coming back to the scene and they're growing, it's becoming more popular, people are understanding it more. We have to have people that actually know what they're doing.
For sure. You can't just chat GPT this. I mean, you could try it, but especially for a chronic issue, you might be in for some trouble because homeopathy doesn't have side effects, but there is something that is called proving a remedy that can happen. And that is exactly what Dr. Samuel Hahnemann did with the cinchona bark. He took but as a remedy. So if I take cinchona in a high dose or a low dose for a long period of time, I can prove that remedy, which means I can produce malarial symptoms. I can stimulate my vital force to express malarial symptoms. And so it's very important that whenever you are taking homeopathy, you're not just taking it willy-nilly all the time just for funsies. Like, that's not a good idea because you can potentially prove the remedy and create the reaction or create the symptoms that remedy is supporting in healing. So I know people who will have a circumstance and I'll be like, take this for X amount of time. Well, then it works. And so they're like,
I'm going to keep giving it.
That worked. I'm going to keep giving it. And that's not what you want to do because homeopathy also runs on the law of the minimum dose. So the law of the minimum dose means what is the smallest amount of energy that I can give to your vital force to ensure gentle and rapid healing. That is the whole goal. Gentle
just
and rapid healing.
Just giving it that little extra boost of memory.
You just need a little nudge. So if you get that nudge through your prescription or through dosing yourself for an acute and you begin to feel better, you need to stop the remedy. Because if you continue to take the remedy, you can then prove the remedy and produce more negative symptoms.
Yeah.
Like for you took arsenicum when you thought you had food poisoning. And you mentioned it on an episode a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I gave you 2 doses of arsenicum and you fell asleep and you woke up and you were drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
And so what happened was you didn't suppress because a lot of supplements, obviously pharmaceuticals, even herbs suppress. So it's like, I have a stuffy nose. I'm going to take these herbs and then my stuffy nose goes away. Well, do you really want your stuffy nose to go away, or do you want to have like an explosive nose blowing so you get all that gunk out? Because if your stuffy nose goes away, but your stuffy nose is trying to expel tons of gunk, that's not the goal. Like homeopathy does not suppress. Other modalities are suppressive.
Yeah, it's like an antiperspirant deodorant under your armpits. Like your armpits are supposed to sweat.
Exactly. And
like
homeopathy,
you're clogging your pores. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. Homeopathy, it does not suppress. So what happened for you? You woke up drenched in sweat. Your body moved through a rapid and gentle healing of what you were experiencing. That's why you were detoxing it through your sweat.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy experience.
Yeah. And
that was awesome. Because before that, I didn't have that experience.
Yeah, that was your first.
I was like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people say it works, whatever. And then I had that experience. I was like, oh shit, like this works.
Yeah, and you'll see like a lot of times people will, they won't feel good, especially I think this happens a lot more with kids, and kids get sick more often typically too. So like say a kid has a stomach ache or something and you give them arsenicum, they're going to have like explosive vomiting, basically. They're going to like throw up in 2 minutes. But then after that, they're totally fine. And so what the body did was it told itself, like, expel these toxins instantly. Like, we need to get out whatever is happening. We didn't take any anti-nausea meds or Tylenol for a fever or anything like that. Like, we want rapid and gentle healing. We do not want suppression. So that's what the remedy is doing. It is stimulating the body to go through a process, whatever that looks like or means, to unsuppress. That can be through tears. That could be through, a bout of anger. It can be something emotional. It can be something physical. Like, it could be skin things. It could be diarrhea. Like, you are unsuppressing in whatever way you need to unsuppress. Because at some point in your life, say you have an explosive bout of anger after a dose of a specific remedy, like, that anger was in your body from whenever you shoved it down in your life. So, like, let's say, I don't know, let's say your brother pushed you down like a bunch of times as a kid, and you just let it happen. But inside you were so mad. So what could happen is you could take a remedy that is unsuppressing of anger. Something like a staphysagria would be one that could assist with this. And then you could go to family Easter, and the next day, let's say after the remedy, and you could totally blow up on your brother for what he did to you when you guys were 10 years old. And he'd be like, what are you talking about? But you just have this explosive, like, I hate you, that was so mean, screw you, I'm so mad for 20 minutes. And then it's out, and you're like, let's go hide the Easter eggs, But that unsuppressing is essentially the peeling of the onion. So the body it doesn't have to always, but it can potentially express emotionally, verbally, mentally, physically, to show a sign that it is healing.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to, but it can.
It's similar to like the holistic health space of like, we don't want to treat symptoms because symptoms are your body's proper mechanisms of doing work.
Yeah.
Like, you get a fever so that you can kill the bacteria or whatever is happening in your body, like to reach a certain temperature. That's like the proper, that's the proper line of healing that the body is going through. Is it's increasing its body temperature. So we don't want to treat that. We don't want to put it out.
Yeah, you don't want to suppress the fever with Tylenol or herbs.
Yeah, so that's like similar concept. I mean, that's like verbatim what it would be.
Yeah.
Is like the symptoms that the body is presenting is like good. It's good news.
Oh, yeah, that's a positive sign.
We want to know what the body's doing. Oh, your body's doing this? Okay, it's doing it for a reason, because your body is an intelligent design, and it wouldn't just do this if it wasn't unprompted. This is not an unprompted thing.
And that's why it's important to work with a homeopath too, because they can decipher if that's happening or not. They know the picture of the remedy enough to be like, that makes sense with which remedy you were prescribed. If this is like totally out of left field, like, and doesn't relate to the remedy that you were given at all, then it requires a bit more tinkering and thinking from the homeopath. And that's why, like, going out into the wild, wild west to heal your chronic problems with homeopathy is a little iffy. And you'll be just kind of shooting in the dark, essentially. But I think it's very interesting, because once you start to kind of unravel the allopathic way of thinking, because let's be real, most holistic spaces are just green allopathy. They're just replacing pharmaceuticals with healthier versions of things, and they are existing in that way of thinking. Homeopathy requires a whole new way of thinking, and a whole new way of viewing the body and the system and
the universe,
the fabrics of reality.
Yep.
And so when you come across like a root cause practitioner, which I've used the term before, but when you come across a root cause practitioner or functional medicine or whatever that is,
there's still a diagnosis.
What a homeopath sees typically is a lot of suppressing of symptoms and a lot of green allopathy. And our goal is to unsuppress the body, to stimulate the vital force, to strengthen the vital force, and to essentially free you from the roller coasters of symptoms that you experience, whether they're mental, physical, emotional, or whatever it may be.
Question?
Yes.
Talk to me more about this vital force thing. Where did this concept come from? What I'm thinking of is when I read Robert O. Becker's book. What's it called?
I don't know. Body Electric?
Yeah, Body Electric. You don't know.
Well,
you know.
You have a couple from him, and I thought it was like one of the ones that are too out in the weeds.
Anyways, in there he talks about the arguments, which is there. It's always like two groups, right? It's always like these two groups of people. I know she's sitting back
look
there
at this
like a cute
cat. If you're watching on YouTube, look at this cat. I'm like so uncomfortable. I keep shifting because I can't
She's
move.
like not moving.
I know.
But,
are you alive? Okay.
There's always two groups of people they're battling. It's like these people versus these people, you know? And back in the day, it was a group of people called the vitalists and a group of people called the mechanists. And the mechanists were chemistry. They believed in molecules and chemistry. Like this chemical does this in the body and that's why this happens. Then there's another chemical goes down the line and that's a chemical and this is a chemical and we're basically just like a chemical lab.
When did the vitalists come in and mechanists come into play? When was this era?
Well,
was this pre-Hahnemann or post? Probably post.
Probably post, but Robert Becker's work was in the 60s, 1960s, but a lot of the research comes from earlier.
Yeah.
Which I think historically that argument between the vitalists and the mechanists has been happening for a long time, which would be like the pharmaceutical people versus like the homeopathy people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one group of people believes that we are like a divine being created by a god and we have an intelligent design that heals itself and there's a certain vital force inside of our body that cannot be chemically depicted.
Yeah.
Like we can't manifest the chemical of vitality. Like the mechanists don't understand what the vital force would be because it doesn't exist chemically.
Yeah.
It's not something that we can be like, oh, let's measure that.
Yeah.
You know, let's measure how much acetylcholine it takes to make this neurotransmitter work. Like that's like a mechanist perspective. But a vital force is like, we don't really care about chemicals. We care about the body doing the natural processes that it's supposed to do.
Yeah, we don't want to isolate the body. We don't want specialists. We don't want gastro, ENTs. Like we don't want to make the body be viewed as secular. We are viewing the body as a whole being. So that is the physical body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, the mental body, the etheric body, you know, the energetic body. I always like to think of the vital force kind of as the energetic body.
Yeah.
I think they're, you know, one and the same because your energetic body, so to speak, can be depleted. And I believe that there are different ways to kind of revive that. But I think homeopathy is just one of those ways and those tools that you can kind of reach and use. But yeah, like the homeopaths, like they, and it's probably not all homeopaths, but generally speaking, when it comes to epigenetics, it's like, you know, genetics load the gun and then lifestyle pulls the trigger, that whole type of thing. And from a homeopathic perspective, it's energetics, essentially. So you are inheriting energetic imprints from your ancestral lines, more so than like a genetic predisposition or whatever it may be. And the energetic, yes, can do the same thing as like trigger certain issues and symptoms and expressions with your personality or whatever it may be within the body, but it is being viewed on an energetic level more so than like a scientific level.
See, I want to go on a little tangent here about the vitalist thing.
Take us on a ride.
So, going back to Robert Becker.
Mm-hmm.
Robert O. Becker. If you don't know who Robert O. Becker is, you should. He wrote a book called Body Electric. Give it a read or look it up. Understand what it is.
It's a deep read. So it's not
very deep.
Not a fun, casual journey.
But he lays out his research that he did, that his whole goal was to understand regeneration. He wanted to regenerate limbs and all sorts of stuff when it comes to the human body. So he was working with salamanders because, as we all know, salamanders regrow their tails. When you cut it off, they regrow. And he was studying that down at the cellular level, down to the mechanists' ideas, where, okay, this chemical comes in down the line, and that's what starts the healing process. It's acetylcholine. That's what it is. And that was like a big argument in the book. I think it was acetylcholine, maybe not, but it was some type of chemical. And so like he discovered, spoiler alert, that there is a force of electrical current in the body that is a direct current, a DC electric current. So a direct current, not an alternating current, a DC current of like 0.1 millivolts, like a very, very, very small measurable electric current, like down to the millionth number. And this electrical force is what he discovered starts the healing process. There's polarities involved of like your limbs are positive and negatively charged. And when you have an injury and you're experiencing pain, the polarities will switch. And when the polarities switch, that's when this electrical current kicks on and starts the healing process. It sends signals to the area of like, here we go, we're going to create this thing, blastema, which was like from the salamander perspective. So then he was like, once the blastema forms, then those cells that formed around this injury get informed to de-differentiate into whatever they need to be, which is like an unheard of concept, that a cell, a red blood cell, can become anything, pretty much. So like whatever cell that's there in that area can become a bone, can become skin, it can become your fingernail, it can become hair, it can become a muscle, it can become a certain other bone. So like there's information that was given to these cells that become a whole hand that was regrown by a salamander. Thumb intact, pointer finger intact, middle finger intact, perfectly the way that it was before it got cut off. So how in the world the information gets sent to that area to regrow something that wasn't there to be the way that it was before?
Yeah, it wasn't just a nub.
So there's some type of field here, There's some type of energetic, vital force that is communicating to the rest of the body that says, hey, we know what was there. We know what we need to do, and we know how to do it. And here we go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like homeopathy. Homeopathy is like that vital force stimulator of, we know what we need to do. Just let us do it. Give us the right frequency.
Yeah.
Give us the right information, the right vibrational energy, whatever it is, to complete the process of healing so that we can create whatever we need to do.
Yeah. Wonder what the salamander remedy does.
I don't know, maybe regrow stuff.
There are over 8,000 homeopathic remedies, which is pretty crazy. So as a homeopath, you can never deeply know them all.
Yeah, there's so much information to learn. There's so many things to try to understand, and that's like a whole spiel that I could go into about gatekeeping, and that I see a lot of people talk about as a bad thing. And I actually think that gatekeeping is a good thing, because when you have gatekeepers, they keep parasites away from the storehouse of value that we have. And you can say that about a lot of different things. Like anywhere that there is value, parasites are going to gather. And when you have a gatekeeper, gatekeepers can keep the parasites out, which keeps the value in the storehouse and keeps it more valuable and increases value as it exponentially grows, because there's nobody diminishing the value of the product or the service of providing a shitty service.
You
Of
gotta
like,
pay to play.
yes, exactly. Of like, oh, I just found a brochure of homeopathy, and like, it works so well. Here, try this and try that. And like, then you become like this self practitioner or whatever. And you're like working with people that you know, and you're giving bad experiences, and like, people don't have, like, you just don't know what you're talking about. And that's like a whole thing that there's only once you start learning a subject, you instantly think that you know everything. Like when you're super naive and you're ignorant to the concepts, you learn a few of them and you're like, oh wow, like this is new, and like I know so much now, like I know everything about this thing that I'm learning about. And in reality, there's so much more to learn. And that once you start to learn more, you actually know less, because you're less certain about what you know. And you're less certain about what things could be. You're less certain of what this problem actually could be solved by. And a good practitioner in any way, especially when it comes to health, looks at the whole picture, looks at all of the things that they are uncertain about. Of like, oh, it could be this, oh, it could be that, oh, well, what about this, oh, I forgot about that one, and then, oh, there's this thing too, and then there's so many things to consider into the equation that you have to have the education, you have to have the understanding, you have to read the books, you have to have the certification. Like, there has to be a gatekeeper involved to keep things operating at a level that is actually where it's actually supporting and helping people get better and all of that.
For sure. Yeah. So that's why, homeopathy is still kind of underground at this point, thankfully, because it is being preserved as good as it can. But I do think people can educate themselves and be really equipped when it comes to acutes. So things that are 3 weeks or less in nature. I think anybody can buy like a homeopathic first aid kit and really get good with that handful of remedies. But when it comes to the chronic stuff or the more complex cases, that's where somebody who has put blood, sweat, and tears into learning comes into play. And I think that's a perfect segue to the ending here with a final question for you. of how is your homeopathic experience that you are on currently going? Do you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
share anything else about or anything about that?
Yeah, so I'm doing a homeopathic marijuana detox that I got specifically from your network
Mm-hmm.
because you paid to go to homeopathy school and have access to certain things that the public does not have access to. So I was able to get these remedies, and I have been seeing some results. I've been seeing some changes in my body. Uh, well, more from an energetics perspective, more from like my personality's changed. Um,
It's like a fog has lifted.
yeah, I feel a little bit more comfortable in my own skin. I'm more secure. Like I feel like, yeah, like when I go, like when I'm talking to somebody, I'm like standing upright, and like shoulders back, heads tall, instead of like kind of slouched and like wimpy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just kind of like a feeling that I have compared to like before it was more like, do you like me? Please like me, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it's going well. So I'm working up the ladder of potencies with the one thing and
Mm-hmm.
uh, doing my best to take them when I'm supposed to take them, which is a challenge.
Yeah, it's pretty extensive. It's not your standard homeopathic prescription.
No.
Yeah.
But
Seems to be working though.
it's going good. I'm interested to see what this next level potency does for me. Which I think I'm getting some different symptoms, like stuffy nose, which I don't know if that's the change of season or if it's the remedy, so I don't know yet, but I do feel like it's different.
Yeah.
But it's
Cool.
going good.
Good. Yeah. I'm curious to see kind of how, I mean, you're 4 weeks in. It's 2, 4, 8 weeks long. So you're about halfway through it so far. So we'll see how it goes with the rest of it. But I was excited for it because it's something different. Like I've not done any detoxing like that. But I think it's exciting to kind of observe over here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because marijuana is not a healthy thing to do.
yeah. There can be detrimental effects, which you are healing. Your vital
90% of the
force is
time,
healing now,
if you're a marijuana user, you're just coping with life.
for sure.
So,
Yeah.
hate me.
They already hate you for thinking that we landed on the moon, so this was just the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. He's
But-
so different now.
You changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. You should change. People change
Exactly.
all the time.
Yeah,
If you don't change, then I don't want to be around you.
that's right. So I'm glad that's going well. I think it's exciting. It's like so cool. It's like you can use an energetic medicine to detox various levels of detrimental effects of marijuana.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that? So that is just one of the many powers and abilities in the world of homeopathy.
For sure. It's limitless.
It is.
I'm excited to see the progress of the growth of it, I guess.
For sure. It's happening. This is just the beginning, I think. People want a different way. They want a different way of being, a different way of thinking and feeling, and the allopathic model is just not it.
We're tired of paying trillions and trillions of dollars on our health and still getting sicker and dying sooner.
For sure. Yeah.
So.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope, that's that.
More to come, I'm sure, in the homeopathy realm. If you would like to work with me as a student practitioner under supervision, this whole episode was just for me to pitch this. Not really, but that's what it feels like right now.
Well, you do need it to graduate.
I do. I need
It's not like you're trying to get money. You're like, I need
clients, many clients. So if you would like to work with me specifically with homeopathy Every case that I take is under professional supervision. So I will take our meeting essentially and meet with the supervisor, and they will sign off on my prescription for you. So it's not like I'm just like out in the wild, wild west giving you whatever I think. Everything is under professional guidance. You can contact me, email, Instagram, Substack, wherever. Links are all down below. And we can chat a little more. It's obviously at a discounted rate while I'm a student over the next year and a half. You do have to agree to 3 appointments with me so that I can get that box checked. But your remedies will be included. I'll ship them to you, and we'll see what we can do. Do you have anything to promote?
Not at this time.
Cool. Everything else is linked down below. Leave us a rating and review. Share the show. And with that, we are going to take Lily for a walk.
Bye.
Bye.